Hi, my name is Veronica, and today I want to talk about some books that I'm excited to read this year. Each of these are in three of my favorite genres, so romance, dark romance, and fantasy. First in the romance section is Sin by Chelsea Corto. This is the fifth book in the DC Stars series. This is about Hannah and Brody. Brody is the coach of the DC Stars, and Hannah is a figure skater. She is also one of the sisters of one of the players on this team. Brody and her end up having a one night stand. They hit it off, but they both decide that they should go their separate ways. And then Hannah, who is a figure skater, feels like she's starting to get burnt out on the sport and is trying to find purpose. She ends up agreeing to coach Brody's daughter, who is also a figure skater, and that's kind of the agreement they come to. They start hanging out more, and from what I gather, I feel like they obviously start to have a really good relationship. I'm just super excited for this one. Like I said, this is the fifth book in the DC Star series. This is one of my favorite hockey series ever, and I just feel like Chelsea Corto does such a good job about writing female main characters that are strong and that are in male-dominated sports. I would not say that this female would be in a male-dominated sport, but they're typically in a male-dominated industry, and they always just have the biggest like support system, and they are like their own champion, and I just really love that about this. And typically she has an author's note in the beginning of every story telling you like why she wrote the story. So this is one of the first romance books that I'm super excited to get to this year. The second romance book that I'm super excited to get to this year is Reckless by Elsie Silver. Now, I have read Flawless in the series and Heartless. I plan to go back and read Flawless again because it's been about 2 to 3 years since I've read it, and I don't really remember a lot. Flawless, in that book, Summer, she is a sister to Winter, who is the FNC in this book. I really want to gather all the information I can and make sure that I'm going into these understanding their relationship. I know, too, that the guy that is in Flawless is a bull rider, and that guy, Rhett, is the rival of the main male character in this book, whose name is Theo. I've heard great things about Theo Silver. I've heard that he is almost everybody's favorite in the series. And all I know about this book is that Winter and Theo have a one night stand. Winter is known as basically what her name is. She's cold, she's aloof. A lot of people don't really understand her. And you kind of come to find out that she is a misunderstood person and that she really is a good person. She just really doesn't get the opportunity to express herself. Um, anyway, in the story, she ends up becoming pregnant, and then her and Theo have to work together to, you know, have a relationship and get to raise this baby. I've heard that even if you don't like accidental pregnancy, people that are not a fan of that really love this book, and I really just want to sit there and get to Powerless and Reckless, but Reckless is my main focus, so I have to get through all those to get to this one. The last book in my romance category that I'm super excited to get to is Play With Me by Becca Mack. This is the second book in the Playing for Keeps series. I read Consider Me 2 years ago. I read about the first 100 pages, and for me that was pretty slow, but from what I remember, I really loved Carter Beckett. I've seen a lot of talk about this book online, and many people do not like that book. They skip it and they go to this book and the books beyond, and I honestly don't have an interest in that book anymore, so I'm going to go into Play With Me. But Play With Me is about Jenny and Garrett, and Garrett is the best friend of Carter. They play on the same hockey team, and Garrett has always had the biggest crush on Jenny. Jenny is a professional dancer, and she's very independent, very vivacious, really doesn't want to depend on people, and she is really struggling because her dad died, and it's something that has been hitting her, and she's really dealing with this grief and is trying to find a way to, you know, move on and keep living even though he's passed away. And Garrett is somebody that steps in and really helps her realize that there is a life after your parent dies. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, that is such a tragic thing that happened to you, but you have to keep living your life because that is something they would want you to do. I've just heard such good things about this series. I've heard that a lot of the books in this are really good, and as you go on, they get better. So many people said that if you like DC Star series, you need to read Playing for Keeps series. So I feel like this is going to be my next hockey romance series that I pick up this year. Next is Dark Romance. All three of these books are a part of series that I've either started or they are the beginning of a series. Yes, the beginning of a series, and I'm just so excited for all three of these. First is Kill Switch, which is about Damon and Winter. I won't go too much into the story since this is within a series. These are all interconnected standalones about these four guys that Three of them end up getting in trouble and going to jail for a couple years, and one guy ends up getting away with, if you will, ends up not being punished for it. And the three that do get punished for it are irreparably changed, and when they come out, they're trying to adjust to society, and they're really trying to like get revenge on the people that they feel like put them in jail in the first place. So in this book, this is about Damon and Winter. Yes. And Damon is one of the guys that got put in jail. If you have read any of the other books, you see that he is a presence within these books, and he is just somebody that is really struggling and that really is having the hardest time outside of jail with the people that were also within jail at the same time as him. But he had a problem with Winter back in the day, and he is basically trying to find a way to make her pay for what she did, and is finding ways to like manipulate her and use her. And I have just heard that this is everybody's favorite book in the series, and that even though this is a hefty boy, if you don't like Damon, he is reformed in this book, and I am somebody that is a certified Damon hater. He has just done some really shady things, and I've seen a little bit of his trauma in Hideaway, so I feel like I can kind of understand where he might be coming from, but I want to see if I am also going to love Damon, and if this is also going to be my favorite story. Next is The Predator, which is the first book in the Darkverse series. I actually started this book about 2 years ago, got about 50% in, and one of the main things that I saw with the series is that the female main character, Marana, has a lot of inner monologue, and because she has so much of that, you are just really in her head. And that was something, even though I knew that, that ended up being my problem with it. But I remember really loving this. The way that this story starts is literally on a bang. Marana basically is trying to break into Tristan, that's the main character's house, because he stole a code from her, or there's a code that she's trying to get back, something like that. They are rival families, and this code is really important, and if it gets into the wrong hands, there are going to be really bad things that happen. I really want to get into the series this year. This is a mafia romance series. I've seen so many people talk about it. I've heard that the further you go and the better that they get. A lot of people really love these couples in these stories. So I would really say I just want to get to The Predator and The Reaper. Those two are both together about the same couple. And I really just want to see if this is going to be the year that I get into the series. And the last one within this section is Psychotic Obsession by Lee Rivers. This is a part of the Edge of Darkness trilogy. So you have the Edge of Darkness trilogy, and then you have the prequel, which is Psychotic Obsession. And I read the Edge of Darkness series at the end of last year, and it was just life-changing. I literally love it. That is my favorite dark romance series trilogy books I've ever read. And this book is about the main male character, Cade's dad, Tobias. And Tobias in that series, if you've read it or if you've heard anything about it, he was just so amazing. And basically what there is about Tobias is he's like a certified psychopath. He is a killer, and he is in a mental institution within those books, or prison. And this is like the prequel as to why he ended up there, the things he did. You get little breadcrumbs throughout Edge of Darkness that are hinting as to why he's locked up, and in this you just get the like actual reason. But this is about Tobias and Arya is Cade's mom. And I have seen, I feel like, mixed things about this. Some people love it, some people hate it, but like as a certified Tobias lover, for me, even though I'm really excited about this book, I'm kind of scared because since this is 20 years in the past, I have heard that he was way different than he is in Edge of Darkness. And if I just don't want him to not live up to the love I already have. Like, I don't want this to take my view of him. I don't think it can. I already love him. He did so many things within that series that just made me say, you are such a great dad, truly. And I just know, like, when I pick this up, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I feel like this is gonna be kind of gut-wrenching, but I just want to know what the hype is all about. And that brings me to our last section, which is fantasy or romantasy. These three books I am probably the most excited about. Some are, again, a part of series where actually all of them are part of a series. It's either starting a series or in the middle of a series. And I'm just really looking forward to them. So first is Eternal Reign by the Twisted Sisters, Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I read Zodiac Academy last year, and even though that was such a long series, I loved every second of it. It was just a roller coaster ride of emotions. And one thing that they're gonna do, is true to their name, is have a crazy cliffhanger, have crazy plot twists. And I have really not seen anything on this series. Um, this is a 7 book series, I believe, and they're actually not that thick. They're about like 300, 400 pages, which I feel like is unheard of for a fantasy book and series. But this is about Montana and Callie. They are twin sisters, and in this world, vampires rule. There is a war going on, and basically what happens is these two sisters get split between two, I don't know if it's vampire factions or vampire like superiors, but they're on opposite sides of the war, and they're trying to find their way back to each other. Again, I have not seen anybody really talk about this series, but I love the Twisted Sisters, and I literally has vampires. Like, basically say less. I feel like this is gonna be really entertaining, and especially with them being like shorter books, I feel like I can really fly through this and get into it. And if it's anything like Zodiac Academy, and if it's anywhere near as addicting, I could just see myself absolutely loving this. The second book is The Bond That Burns by Briar Bowen. This is the second book in the Bloodwing Academy series. I read the first book on Wings of Blood last year. It's about Medra and Blake, and basically Medra is this girl from like ancient Arthurian times, and she falls into this world where vampires are superior, and they are like non-existent, or like dragon riders. And basically when she comes into this world, this guy comes up and is like, hey, you look like a dragon rider. And she's like, I'm not. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't even know where I am. And I didn't even mention she woke up naked. But he essentially thinks that she is a dragon rider, and in this world they are extinct, but they are also known for like their blood and being really, really powerful. So this guy takes her back to the castle, and come to find out this guy's name is Blake, and he's actually the prince of this realm. And essentially the king, or like his uncle, wants to tie him to her because of how strong she is, and having that within their family will really show like they are superior, and that basically you just have such a good bloodline. Anyway, that story was really interesting. It was just basically Medra trying to figure out like how she ended up in this world. Is she actually a dragon rider? Because for her, she knows she's Fae, but she doesn't understand like why they're saying she's a dragon rider. Why are dragon riders extinct within this world? And basically she's going to like combat classes and really trying to learn like how to navigate like this world with vampires, and really learn as much as she can. And I really, really enjoyed that book. The way that book ended was absolutely crazy. And then The Bond That Burns, which is the second book, I heard picks up like right from where that ends. And I heard that this has like a lot of yearning, and just that the story levels up. And since I loved On Wings of Blood so much, I really want to get into the story, because I know the third one comes out in March, and I just want to try to be as caught up as possible. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. And the last book in my romantasy section is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And this one is on my list, one, because I watched the movie as a kid and I really, really loved it. Two, because I've seen so many people pick this up as an adult and truly enjoy it, and just say that they have had the best experience with it. And I have found that has made me really interested in wanting to finally pick up the series. So City of Bones is the first in the Mortal Instruments series. It's 6 books, and I really just want to see if this is going to be as good, if not better, than the movie. I feel like books are always better than the movie, but this is about Clary, and Clary basically finds out that she's a shadow hunter, which are people that hunt demons, and she's basically kind of working throughout the story trying to figure out like how she's a shadow hunter. Why did she not ever know about this? How did she not know demons existed in this world, and or walking around in modern day? I think it's New York, but like in the modern day world, and just walking around people and they have no idea. And so I know like a little bit about what happened in the story. It's been so long since I've watched the movie, but I remember like the general gist of what happened in it. And I just want to see again like if this book is going to hit with me being an adult, and if I want to continue the series. And this is by far probably one of the ones that I'm most anticipating, and really am just itching to like get to it. So those are the 9 books that I am the most interested in, or the most excited to get to this year. Obviously there are way more, like I didn't include any new releases or anything like that, but I am super excited to get to those. I feel like all of those have potential to be some of my favorite books of the year, or to be series that I really enjoy. I'm really looking forward to picking it up.